Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, as you know, I started a playlist called End-to-End Big Data Project Implementation. So here I already uploaded 2 projects and I got some amazing feedback from your end. So in this video, I'm going to publish another end-to-end data engineering project. So here we'll try to implement a complete data warehouse system. So again, this project is recorded by one of my good friend. His name is Imran sir. So Imran sir has explained the entire project, okay, how you can develop the entire data warehouse, okay, with real-time use case. So I think this is going to be amazing implementation. Make sure you watch till the end, and if you have any kinds of query, please try to comment in the comment section. I'll definitely help you with that. So yeah, let's start it, guys, with this amazing project implementation, and do let me know, okay, how you enjoyed this particular project.
Hey everyone, welcome to the course. My name is Imran and I'll be your instructor for this course. I have a 6+ years of experience in big data science and analytics with the product architecture design and delivery. I'm having an experience of 3+ years in educating people and helping them to make a career transition. The purpose of this course is to help you to understand how to design a data warehouse solution from end to end, right? So I hope you'll enjoy this course. So let's get started. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we'll understand what we are going to do in this project. So by end of this project, you'll be able to design and build a complete data warehouse from the ground up. So you'll have the knowledge, practical skills, and the confidence to implement a modern data warehouse professionally. So the basic architecture will look like this, right? So we'll have the external source. So here in our project, we'll be using a CSV file, right? So then we'll do some basic ETL, right? So here we are using a Pentaho tool to extract the data from or in our local system, right? So there we'll be learning some of the ETL concepts, like we'll see like what are the different components we have in the Pentaho tool. So whatever we are gonna do in the Pentaho, right? It's almost a similar approach whenever you're going for some other ETL tools, right? But the entire concepts will remain the same. So we'll have the CSV files. Okay, so the data set which we are using in our project is the sales data, right? So we'll try to do the ETLs on the data with help of Pentaho tool. Okay, and so the data warehouse in our project will be using a Postgres server, right? So here we'll create schemas, different schemas like public, staging, and the core schemas. Okay, and from the warehouse, right? So you can just connect to the any BI tools. Okay, this is what the entire flow of the data movement. Okay, so whenever you're working the real time, right? So this how we simulate. Okay, so the entire project in upcoming videos. Okay. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we'll understand what actually the data warehouse is. Before directly jumping into the data warehouse, first let's understand the difference between the database and the data warehouse. Okay, so so here is basically directly connected to the two systems, right? So we have OLAP and OLTP systems. So OLAP stands for online transactional analytical processing, and one is online transactional OLTP, that is online transactional processing, and OLAP is online analytical processing, right? So we have one transactional processing and then we have analytical processing. So whenever we are dealing with databases, right, so always like it will be of OLTP, that is a transactional processing. So here like a good example for this, like ATMs, right? So whenever you get want to withdraw some money from ATM, right? So you'll get into ATM, you'll enter your PIN, and you'll withdraw certain amount, right? So then and there itself, the data will be updated and you'll be able to see the updated date, right? So how much amount of you are withdrawing or depositing, right? So all the details you're able to fetch it. So at the back end, okay, somewhere we have a database, okay, so where those tables are updated regularly, right? So transactions, we have a quick transactions, right? And we're able to track all these transactions. So we need a OLTP system for that. So for the OLTP, it's more of databases, right? So you'll be dealing more of the databases systems. So on the other hand, we have OLAP, that is analytical processing systems. So in this, what happens is So whatever the systems we have for the OLTP, okay, so if I want to perform some analysis, okay, so basically I don't want to disturb those transaction processing systems, because so if I'm gonna disturb that, okay, somewhere like it will affect my business, right? The systems may be slow, or server may crash, right? Because I'm fetching data regularly or pushing some records, right? So I don't want to disturb those systems, right? So we have other systems called OLAP, that is analytical processing systems. So in this systems, so it is basically we have a data warehouse. Okay, data warehouse is a database. Okay, so which is a process for collecting and managing the data from the various sources, right, to provide meaningful business insights. So here, in short form, I can say data warehouse is typically used to connect and analyze the business data from heterogeneous sources. The sources could be anything. Okay, you can collect the data from different sources, store it, and do some transformation and push to the data warehouse. And from the data warehouse, you can just do some analytics, right? So you can just connect to some BI tools and make some business decisions, right? So this is what the data warehouse. So databases is mostly for the OLTP, and data warehouse is for OLAP. Okay, in the data warehouse we have some historical data as well, right? Which help us to make some business decisions, right? So this is what in short, like data warehouses. So data warehouse is used in many sectors, almost like if we give some examples, right? Snowflake we have, right, is one of the leading data warehouse solution. Okay, so we have Redshift, right? So there are many leading data warehouse solutions in the market. Okay, and so what is the need of the data warehouse? Okay, so here you can just take some of the points, like users who use customized complex process to obtain information from multiple data sources, right? They can go with data warehouse. Okay, decision making who rely on mass amount of data, right? And so if the user wants a fast performance and huge amount of data, which is in necessity for generating reports, charts, right? So the data warehouse proves it's useful, right, comparable to the OLTP, right? And so it's used in many sectors, as I told you: airlines, okay, banking, healthcare, whether it could be a public sector, retail, telecommunication, right? It's used in the many sectors. So this is just introduction to understand what actually the data warehouse. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we'll understand the different layers of data warehouse. Okay, so first we have a data sources, right? So the data sources could be anything. It could be a CRM, it could be ERP, it could be a clickstream, right? So that is a real-time data. So the next layer we have a data warehouse, okay, so which we are gonna build in our project. So in the data warehouse, again, we have different layers, right? So this is the entire service. So when I'm dealing with the data warehouse, so I'm basically dealing with all these major sections, I can say. So one is a staging, right? We have a core and we have a data mart. And if I say staging, okay, so in the warehouse, it could be a schema, right? So I can have in a certain database. So see, data warehouse is the database itself, right? So inside the database, I can have a different schemas. So for example, if I have a sales database, right? Inside the sales database, I can have a staging schema, I can have a core schema, I can have a different schemas for the data marts also. And what is the other kind of scenario? I can have a different databases, like I can have a staging database, I can have a core database, I can have inside the core database, I can have a different schemas. So the design could be in any format. So just remember, so we'll understand what this layer actually is doing. Okay, so whenever we have connected, so we have a data warehouse, assume like we'll take it as Snowflake, right? So or else we can take a Postgres. So Postgres we can consider as our data warehouse solution, okay, to build our data warehouse solution. So if I take Snowflake or a Postgres, right, so I can connect to my data sources. So data sources could be anything. It could be another database, it could be of CSV files or local systems or some APIs, right, where you're collecting the data. So whatever the data you're getting it, right? So first, the entry point of the data warehouse is the staging area, right? So in the staging area, so it's basically an entry point, okay, so where all the raw data will be collected. Fine. So if you are if you have connected to some CRMs, right, so whenever you're fetching the data, the first layer in the data warehouses, you're getting the complete raw data, and those data is pushed to the staging. Fine. And once the staging, you have pushed the dating, and between this, okay, you can do some transformation. So with help of ETL2, we'll be doing this, right? So you'll have the data in CRMs, and with help of ETL tool, you'll connect to the sources, and the destination will be my data warehouse, and you'll push the record to the staging. So staging will be my raw data. Okay, so once you have the into staging, so in between you can have those transformation, and in the staging layer, okay, whenever you're pushing the records or the data from staging to the core, so it should be of transformed data, or you can do whatever the transformations required for your data set, right? So we'll see in our project what are the transformations we can apply using Pentaho tool. So in our project we are using ETL tool as Pentaho, right? Then from the core, so core will have all the clean data. So it can go to the core. Okay, core you can say it just accessible layer. Okay, from where the other BI people can connect to this core layer and fetch the records, right, for to build the dashboards. And it could be and the core can be split into different marts also. For example, there could be a marketing team, right? It could be some developer team or other teams, right? So where they are focused, where the data is sent to their certain marts. So mart is just subdivisions, okay? So that they'll not mix up all the data in just one schema or one database. So data marts, okay, so where the data is being broken down, okay, it could be from staging, it can go directly to data marts, or it can go to the core, and from core it can split to different data marts. So this entire thing is done with the help of ETL tools, fine. And the BI user, there is a consumer systems, okay, or reporting people can connect to the data marts, right, and fetch those records and build the beautiful reports, and they can take the decision whatever they are like based on their use case, right? And this just you need to have the pipeline, okay, and just schedule it, okay, because we'll have the incremental nodes. It's not like we are doing well, first when you're doing it's the initial run, right? So I mean initial load, then we'll have the incremental loads, right? So then we need to clean up the staging layer, because now the we have in the raw we have the new records, right? So we need to configure that. In some cases what they do is, once the data is being pushed from staging to core, the staging area will be truncated to so that the new records will come to into the particular layer, or they can have the historical data which is stored in the staging, right? So all this configurations we can do it based on our requirements. So these are the different layers, okay, staging, core, and the data mart. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video we'll see the difference between the fact table and dimension table. So this concept you should know, because this is what we're going to design in our project as well, right? So what is fact table? So first we'll understand the definition here. So it contains the measurements, facts, or matrices of attributes. Okay, assume like you have a sales data, right? So first in the sale, okay, I can have a different columns, right? So price is one of the column, right? So it could be a price, it could be a cost, it could be a total profit, right? It could be anything, right? So the new the fact table, okay, whenever you're creating a fact table, the fact, okay, so for example we have a profit, okay, I'm just considering a profit as a fact table, okay. So the whatever the profit I have, right, so the factors which is associated with the profits, okay, so whether it could be a quantity, region, other things, okay, so all those parameters, all those properties is basically a dimension, and the profit itself is a fact, right? So this is what the difference is. When I'm referring to the fact table, it contains the measurements, fact, or matrices of the attribute. And what is the dimension table? It is a companion table that contains the attributes using with the fact table deduce the facts. So for example, sales, if I take a sales, okay, okay, I can have a different columns. So like from this store or from this region, from this, okay, I can have the sale, right? So if I take a sale as my fact, okay, and though to that particular sale, what are the different factors associated? Okay, it could be a region, right? There could be so many factors contributing that particular sale. That those factors are dimensions, right? And the sale itself is a fact. So we can design a fact table and a dimension table. So the fact table will have all these primary keys, foreign keys, which is associated with the dimension tables, right? So next, in terms of design, okay, it is defined by the data grain, okay, so it will have the highest level of granularity, right? So the fact table will be a final table with the highest level of granularity. Okay, so next we have a dimension table. It is a descriptive, complete, and wordy, right? For example, I have a product IDs, right? I can have a product description also. So I can remove the product description and just connect with the other dimension. So in the fact table, I can have only the clean data, no more it's fine granularity, and the description of that products I can have in the other dimensions, right? So in our project, we'll try to create a products dimensions, okay? So in upcoming videos. So next is task. It contains the measures, right? And it is used for the analysis and decision making, because I told you the fact table will be our final table, and decision contains the information about the process and its business. Fine. So next, types of data. The fact table, it contains data in both numeric as well as the textual format. dimension table, it contains the data only in the textual format. Okay, remember that in the dimension table. So in terms of keys, okay, it has the primary key for which dimension, which is act as a foreign key in the dimension table, and it has a foreign key associated with the primary key of the fact table. So in terms of storage, so it differs. It stores the filtered domain and the reports labels in dimension tables, and it stores the detailed automatic data in the dimensional structures. So in terms of hierarchy, yes, in the dimensions it can have multiple hierarchies, but fact table does not have any hierarchies. So in terms of attributes, so it has the less attributes when we talk about the fact table, but in dimensional table we'll have a more attributes. Fine. So these are some of the examples. So how we can design the data warehouse. Okay. Like a table growth. Okay. So in terms of growth of the table, the fact table grows vertically and the dimension table grows horizontally. Okay. And the creations, the fact table is created after dimensions tables are created, but the dimension tables needs to be created first. So remember that. So whenever you're creating different tables, so make sure the dimension tables are created first, then the fact tables are created. Okay, so next we have a schema structure. So here we have two types of schemas, right? So we have snowflake schema and we have a star schema. So in terms of fact table, there is a less number of fact tables in the schema. Okay, in the dimension can have more number of dimension tables in the schema, right? So these are some of the comparison between the fact as well as dimensions. Hello everyone, welcome back. So now we'll see the difference between the star schema and snowflake schema, right? So first let's try to understand this star schema. So here in the star schema, you can see like we have a fact table, correct? And the fact table is associated can be associated with different dimension tables, right? So this is basically a star schema, fine. And so here also you can see, so we have a fact table and we have a dimension table. For this dimensions, again there we have a sub dimension. So this kind of tables, this kind of data modeling is basically a snowflake schema. So what is the difference here? So whenever we are dealing with star, so we don't have any tables associated with the dimensions. You can see like we have fact table associated with the multiple dimensions, but when we talk about the snowflake schema, right, so we have a fact table, we have a different dimensions, and each dimension also associated with a different sub dimension table. So basically if there is a sub dimensional table, so then we call that as a snowflake schema, fine. And here you can see as an example fact table, we have a revenue. Okay, so the different columns here we have is dealer ID, model ID. You can see like we have most of foreign keys, right, and the primary key, and the revenue is our major factor, right? And to get the revenue, we have a different attributes associated with this revenue, like we have a date, dealer, branch, and the product, right? And for this dimension again we have again other dimensions. So this kind of modeling is basically a example of snowflake schema, right? So you should know the examples. Okay, so as soon as you see the data modeling, you should be able to judge whether it's star schema or a snowflake schema. So here's the other example for the sales table, right? So we have all the keys, okay, and the unit sold and the dollars sold, and there is a different dimensions, and for each dimension again is a separate dimension. Even this is also example for snowflake schema, right? So just remember this particular structure. This is a star schema and this is a snowflake schema. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, let's understand what actually the ETL is, right? So ETL is a traditional processing framework, right? So where it involving the extraction of data from a source systems, doing some transformations. When I say transformations, basically a cleaning, right? So cleaning of data, and finally loading the data into a data warehouse, right? So if I break this three words, right, that is extract, a transform, and load, let's understand this in detail. So when I talk about extract, right, so extract is basically the extracting the data from any number of sources. Okay, so it could be an external API, it could be of a cloud storage or databases, okay, static files, it could be anything. But the meaning of extract, so what represents is like you are getting the data from a source. The sources could be of like different sources, right? So then it comes a transform, right? So, or we can call it as a transformation, right? So basically this is a step involves a transforming the data. So when I say transforming, basically the cleaning of the data, right? So some of the transformations I can name like mapping, filtering, right? Then enrichment. Okay, so these are the different like aggregating. So these are the transformations I can just do it in this particular step. And finally we have a load. So load, so basically this is the step, so where the data is loaded into a destination system. So extract is a source system and the loading is a destination system, right? And the destination systems could be like, again, like cloud storage file, right? File systems. It could be a data warehouses, right? Or database. Okay, it could be anything, right? So perform, so we have common tools, right? Or frameworks we can call it as, like pandas, we have Spark, a Dask, right? So we have Kafka, Docker, Kubernetes. Okay, these are some of the common tools which is present. So even like nowadays, like we have most powerful databases, right? So when it comes to a destination, right? So we have more powerful data warehouses, like we have a Snowflake, BigQuery, Redshift Spectrum, right? So basically what they do is they allow the separation of storage and execution, right? So it becomes more economical to store the data in the data warehouse and then transform them whenever it is required, right? So these are basic common terminologies which should know. Okay, so before getting into the project, so this is what the ETL, that is extract, transform, and a load. Hello everyone, welcome back. So these are some of the major ETL tools, right? We have Informatica, Glue, right? It's the AWS service. We have Fivetran, it's also cloud service, right? We have a Talent, right? Informatica Cloud. These are these are the leading ETL tools. But in our project we'll be using a Pentaho. Okay, it's free, it's open source, it's very simple to, it has simple interface, no much configurations, right? So we'll be using that to understand detailed concepts. Fine. So given a glance, like what are the different ETL tools we have in mind. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, let's install the Java. Okay, so to check whether the Java is installed or not in your system, so what you can do is you can go to your command prompt and just search for java underscore underscore version, and you can see like in my machine java virtual machine is not yet created, not been installed. So let's try to install it in this video, because to work with a Pentaho tool, right? So java is one of the prerequisite, you need to have the java installed in your system. So you can download from official website also. Even you can install Java from this Open Logic, Open JDK downloads with the different. It provides different versions like Java 11.8. Okay, and I'm installing Java 8, and the operating system is Windows, right? And the architecture based on your system configuration, just select that. Then I want to install JDK, right? So once you select this, so there are different options here, right? With different Java versions. So let's install for 64-bit. 6. These are different versions. Fine. So let me install this first version. I'll install it .zip, or else you can just go with .msi. Let me install with .msi. Okay. So my download is done. So let me open this. So accept the terms and conditions. Next. Okay, click on next and install. S. Click on finish. Yes. So now let me check. So if I go to my terminal once again and do java underscore underscore version. Okay, so we need to add a path for this. So what I'll do, let me go to my drive, C drive, go to program files, Inside this program files, you should find a Java. So this is Java, and here I have a JDK and JRE, right? So I'll just copy this path, or else I can just select this and copy as path, and here just type edit system variable, edit system variable. So click on environment variables. So let me add it, right? So let me click on here, edit, and new. Or else what we can do is, if you click on new here, so we need to give a variable name. I'll give as a Java home, Java underscore home, and I'll just paste this path. And remember this, and remember to remove this codes here, right? So just remove this and click on OK. Can see Java home is added. I'll click OK and OK. So you need to restart your system sometime. Okay, so it will not work fine. So if you yes, I'll just restart my system and I'll just check whether I'm able to access a Java or not. Okay. Okay, so after restart, so I'll just open my command prompt once, and it's not Java underscore version, just Java underscore version. Fine. And you can see, so Java JDK version 1 point has been installed. Open JDK runtime environment, and so all the basically I have installed the Java, right? So in the next video, we'll install the Pentaho tool. Fine. And so this is prerequisite. So please make sure to install Java before accessing the Pentaho tool, or else you'll be getting an error while configuring with the Postgres. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, let's install a Pentaho tool, right? So to install the Pentaho data integration tool, so we need to check what are the prerequisite, right? So which we have already installed, right, in the previous video, that is Java. So you can either install 11 or 8. Okay. So the installation step. Okay, so we need to download Pentaho from this link. I'm just copying this link here. Copy this and let me paste it over here, and let's download the community edition. I'll scroll down and click on download, and from here click on download. Yes, so here you can select a PDI CE 9.40034 zip. Okay, that is Pentaho data integration base installation. Just click on download. So download is started. It's of 368 MB. Okay, so it will take a few minutes. So once this installation is done, so I'll be back. Okay, so my installation is done, right? You can see. So installation in sense, like you need to download this zip. Okay, so I'll just show this in folder, and let me extract this. Click on extract all, extract. So extraction is done. So let me open this data integration. And if I scroll down, so here you can find a spoon, right? So of Windows batch file type, right? So just run this as administrator. More information, just click on run anyway. Yes. Yes. Could not be found. They fine. Click on close. Yes. Fine. So here, so this is my Pentaho tool. You can see here, welcome to Pentaho data integration. So I can create new transformations from this tab. Okay. So we'll explore more about this in the next video. I hope you have installed Java as well as a Pentaho tool, right? So now let's move on to the next section. Hello everyone, welcome back. So now let's explore this tool. Okay, so as soon as you open this batch file, right? So Windows batch file. So this will be a welcome page, right? And here you can see the two sections. One is view, one is design. And so if you want to start a new transformation, okay, you can click on the new transformation from this particular button, right? And here, as soon as you click on a new transformation, so right now I'm in the transformation one. By default, it has given some name. So every time if I want to run this transformation, so I need to save this transformation, then only I'm able to run it. Okay. So better approach would be like as soon as you open the transformation, so make sure go to the file and click on save. Fine. And apart from this, and inside the design section, you can see, so in the view, we'll have all the database connections and the run configurations and stuff. Okay. But in the design, to design this transformation, okay, so to add the steps, basically I'll be working most of the time in the design section. So here we have a different tabs like which is related to input. Okay, when I click on input, so all the components which is related to the input of the data. Okay, so like creating a table, input table, or a CSV file input. Okay, so these are some of the, you can see, so this is the table input, right? So all these components you can find inside the input. Similarly for the output, if you want to have some joins, okay, some validations, okay, jobs, okay, so all these components can be accessed from this particular sections, right? For example, if I'm looking for some table input, right? So if I just type here table input, table input, or else I can say input table, input table. So you should know the name properly. Yeah, so here we have yeah, table input, right? So if I just drag and, you need to just drag and drop into this canvas section, and whatever the configuration I need to make with respect to this table input. Okay, so I can just make those connections and use this particular component. So whatever the component is, just you need to drag and drop, right? And so for example, this is the table input. Similarly, I'll have the output as well. So if I just scroll down, if you know the name, directly you can just enter it and search for that. So similarly for the table output, all right. So here we have a table output, right? I'll just drag and drop. And these are the two components. If I want to connect it, you need to hold shift. Okay, first select it, hold shift and drag and drop, right? So I'm just showing you how you need to work with this particular tool. Okay, no need to master this tool. So we right now we are exploring about the ETL, right? So extraction, transformation, loading, and so we'll see like how to build a warehouse from scratch, right? And yes, so this is how these components work. And if you want to delete some of the components, just select it and delete, right? So this is how it basically works. So I hope now you are just familiar with how to create a new transformation, how to drag and drop components, and how to create a link between the two components, right? So let's proceed. Okay, let's try to build some transformations in upcoming videos, right? So let's get started. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, I'll just show you a simple setup, okay, how we can just perform a transformation using a Pentaho tool, right? So here, so I've already created a transformation one, right? So let's drag and drop this CSV file input, right? So let me open the CSV input file. Once I open this, so I can just give the step name. I'll just keep it default, that is CSV input file, and let me add the file name. So what I'll do, let me click on browse, and I have saved in C drive. So there'll be a sample data which is being loaded here, right? So I'll go to the users. Imran, and if I just scroll down inside the downloads, you can find this PDI, right? So just select that, and inside this data integration, so here you can find something called samples, and inside these samples, you can find something called transformation. Just select that. Let me expand this, and inside this transformations you will have something like files. Okay, let me open this files. Yeah, let me open this files, and inside this file I'll have this sales.csv. I'm just selecting that and click on open. Fine. So I'll just show you here also in the path. So whatever you have downloaded, right? So like when you installed this Pentaho tool, right? So the zip file you have unzipped it and go to your data integration, the same path, right? So then go to your samples, and inside the samples I'll go to the transformations, and inside the transformation files, and I've just loaded this sales data, right? So this is just a sample data which is provided by the Pentaho tool, right? So I'll come here to the spoon. Okay, you can just copy this entire path from this way also. So I can just copy this entire path of file path, right? So this entire file path like this, and paste it in the spoon in the file name, right? This is also correct. So delimiter is comma, the enclosure. Okay, so you can just keep all this default, and even you can just click on preview, and let preview some 100 rows. Click OK, and why it's not showing? Okay, let me close this. I think next file, yeah, get fields. Okay, get all the fields. Yes, all the fields got collected. Okay, click on preview once again, and let me 100 click on 100. Yes, now I'm able to access that particular data in the tool, right? So let me close this. Okay, so I have just performed this. So next what you can do, so for in case like if you want to perform some of the operations on this tool, right? So like some of the operations on this particular data, I can just do it with help of for example, I want to change some of the like if I try to open this. Okay, let me open this and click on preview, and here let me see the 100 rows, and here we have a status shift, right? So if I want to change this to a capital, right, so I can do that. Okay, status, right? So I'll just click on OK here. So here we have something called a string operation. So search for a string operation. So this is the string operation under the transformation. Just select that, and so we know how to drag it, right? Just select it, hold on shift, and over onto this, and select the main output of a step. Fine. And if I open this string operations, so again you can just give any name for each step. So here the field name is status, right? So the field name is status, and so what I need to do, I need to make this as upper, right? So whatever the operations you want to do it, right? So you can just do it. Yeah, so in the stream field is basically you are selecting which field you are changing it, right? And here under the lower and upper, I want to make this as upper, right? And click on OK. So as soon as I click on OK, so I told you, so before running, right? So I need to save this transformation. I'll go to the file, click on save. So let me save this in the downloads. I have created a separate folders to save all these transformations. I'll go to the downloads. Inside the downloads, I have created a folder called all transformations. I'll just name this transformation as a test. Fine, and click on save. So now let me execute this. Click on run and run this transformation. Yes. So if you see this blue ticks, it means that this transformation successfully executed. So check the output. For example, let me check for the CSV input file, right? So if I click onto this and click on preview data, I'm able to access everything. And similarly, if I go to the string operation and click on preview data, you can see it has been changed to the capital, right? So this is what simple process. I just wanted to show you one simple transformation. So now let's do the other transformations in the next video and start with our project. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, let's create a database. Okay, so this database will be our data warehouse. Okay, so then under the public schema, then we'll create our products a table, and even let's try to create a category dimension as well. Okay, so let's get started. So first let me open my pg admin. So pg admin. So let's enter the password. So let's enter the password and click on OK. Fine. So my server is connected, right? So if I try to expand the databases, so right now I have different databases like TestDB, Postgres, Imran, and Data Warehouse X. So let's create a new database. Okay. So let me go to the create a database. So I'll create a database name as SalesDB. Okay. So this will be my default database, right? So all the um, tables which is related to the sales, right? So whatever the case today I'm gonna build, okay, so everything will be under this particular database. Fine. So let me create this and click on save. Yes, so I've created my database here, that is SalesDB. And if I just try to expand the under the schema, so we have only a public schema, right? Under the public schema, so if I check what are the different tables, so here I don't have any tables, right? So now what we'll do is first let's create a table called products, right? And then let's try to upload the data to that particular table. Fine. So this is what we're gonna do now. Fine. Let's start. So what I'll do, let's click on here. So let's open the query tool here. So let me type, that is create table. Then the table name will be products, right? Then the so my products table will have a product ID. This will be of varchar of 5. Okay. Uh, Then let's add one more, that is product name. So this will be of varchar of 100. Then we have a category, and it will be of type varchar of 50. Then we'll have one more table called subcategory or subcategory of varchar of 50. Varchar 50, and this is what our table is. Okay, before creating this table, I'll just show you the data. So if I go to the resources, I have this products, right? So let me open this. Yes, so we have a product ID, right? So then we have a product name, then we have a category and the subcategory. Fine. So let me close this and let me go to my PG admin. Let's execute this particular table. Yes, table got created. You can just refresh it here. And if you can see, so products has been created, and inside this products we have all these columns, that is product ID, product name, category, and subcategory, right? So now let's try to upload the data, right? So we can do insert into, but so we can directly insert the records, okay? So with help of something called import export data. So let me select that. So my data is here, right? So under the resources, you can see this is what the products is. So let me go here. Fine. So make sure you are in the import section and like click on the file name. So it's not in downloads. Let me go to the different folder, warehouse project, resources, and this is what the project is. Let me select that. Fine. And the format is CSV and UTF-8. And other options, make sure you check this header, right? Because in my data set in the CSV file, we the first row is header, right? So make sure it is checked and the delimiter is comma, and even you can just check all the columns. In some case, if you're not able to find this, so you can just manually select it from this drop down. Fine. So I'll click on OK. Fine. As soon as I click on OK, so successfully completed, and it copying the data into this public dot products table. So if I do select star from public dot products, so let me execute this. So you can see, so I'm able to access all the records here, right? So where we have product ID, product name, category, and subcategory. So now what we'll do is, so next we even there'll be a so in our upcoming sessions, right? So of course, like we're gonna see like how we can build end-to-end data warehouse solution, right? And so even so in that cases, okay, so even will be required this category dimension as well. So here can you see, so here if I see, we have a product ID, we have a product name, we have a category and subcategory, right? Correct. So even I can find the distinct category here. So we you can see like we have a fruit and vegetables, then beauty and hygiene, snacks and branded. Okay, so what I can do, I can just select distant, so that later on I can create this as a dimension table, right? So distant category, distant category from products. Okay, so if I try to check what are the different categories in my products, so let me add public dot products, DISTINCT, fine, distant. Yes, so these are the different categories. You can see starting with a baby care, we have fruits, vegetables, okay, snacks, cleaning households, or almost 10, right? So what we can do, so we can create a new table, okay? So so that we can have this category as a separate table as well, right? So what I can do, so I can just write a query for that. That is select distant category into, so with help of into I'm creating a new table called category from public dot products, right? So let me create this. Yes, so if I try to check, select star from public dot category, so I can access all the category here, right? So it has created a separate table. So even if I just refresh it here, so now I'll be able to see two tables. One is products and one is category. And so it could be a good option, right? So like here in this table that is under the products table, so we have all this different categories. Okay, so if I want to create a primary key, okay, that is a foreign key for that particular table, that is for the category table, so I can create a window function, right? So like I can create a row number, okay, inside this category table, right? So in the inside the category I have only the category. So let's try to add a row number so that later on I can add a foreign key to that particular table, right? So let me add that. So how we can do that? That is a select category. This is what the column name we have in the category table. Select category. Then we'll use a row number. over, so this will be having the function that is over order by category from category, right? So let me run this. Yes, so it got created. So let me make few changes to this. What we can do, so select a row number. So here I can just give this name as not category, as a category ID, right? So not as row number. So I'll just give as category underscore ID, right? From category, right? Okay. So let me run this. Yes. So you have category, right? So now let's try to create this new table. Okay. So into, let's add into category into select category row number into, so category table. So we have already a table name called category. So I'll just create as a category table, right? So I think this should be here. Just a second. So let me rewrite. So it will get confused. So what? Select. So first we'll have a row number, right? So that is a row number, over order by category, as category ID, right? Then even we'll have the category as well. Category into, I'm creating a new table called category table, category underscore table from category. Fine. So let me execute this. So I'm creating a new table called category table. Yes. So now we have a three tables, right? So we started with just a product. So now if I try to expand, so we have a three tables. So one is products, right? So we have a category and category table. So whenever if I want to connect my product with the category table, right? So I'll be using this. So even if I do a select star, uh, so select star from category underscore table. So this will be my a foreign key to connect to my products, right? So it's executing it. Oh, it's taking a longer time. Yeah. So you can see, so this category ID will be my foreign key to this products, right? So if I do here, you can see, so for the each category, I have assigned a number. Like for baby care, we have 1, for the beverage, we have 4, right? So later on, so whenever we are creating a dimensions for this, we can easily connect this category ID to this products, right? So if I try to run this products once again, so you can see, so here we have fruits and products. So there are, of course, like we have created separate table called category table. So later on, as we proceed, so we can create a foreign key to that particular table. Fine. So we have done our initial setup. Okay. So right now this will be our raw data. So what we have done so far, so we have created a database called SalesDB, and inside this a public schema, right? So we have created a table called products, right? And so within the products, so I have created a new table, okay, so called category table. So this will be in this table we'll have a category ID, and the each ID will be mapped to a individual category, that is a unique category, right? So like fruits, vegetables, beauty, and hygiene. So this is what we have done so far. So in the next video, so let's create a new schema called staging, and let's try to build dimensions of the products as well in upcoming videos. Okay, so let's do that in the next video. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, let's create a new schema called staging. Okay, so this will be our raw data, right? So when I say raw data, basically I'm referring to a public schema. So inside this, we'll have a raw data called products, correct? So now, so we'll create a one more schema. So this will be our staging area. So let's create a schema, and I'll just name this name as staging, correct? So I'll just name this as staging, staging, and click on save. So inside the staging, so we have a tables. Right now we don't have any tables. So first let's create a table. Okay, so this will be a landing area from source, that is from the raw data, into my another schema called staging, right? So in some cases, what happens is they create the separate database for the so the raw will be a separate database, and for the staging and the core will be a separate database. Now we are just learning like how actually this we can create a database in very simple manner, right? So first we have a raw data in public schema, and this raw data, so I'll be pushing to a landing a zone of my data warehouse that is under a different schema called staging, right? So inside this, I don't have any table. So let this time create a table manually. So I'll just create a table. I'll just name this table as a dim underscore product. Fine. So this will be my name of my table. So let's create a table here. So first let's add, just a second. Yes. So first let's add a product primary key. Okay. So product primary key, I'll add the capital. And so this will be our uh, integer type. You can just type integer. Okay. So this will act as a surrogate key, because in my products, so if I just show you here, so, right? So in my products, so if I try to do a select star, so here in my products, I have a product ID, right? So this is the natural key which is present in my data, right? In the raw data. So whenever I'm loading that data into a staging area, so I am just creating a surrogate key. I'm just naming that as a product. So this will be my primary key, right? So I'm just naming that as a product, right? Uh, product primary key, and it should be of not null and primary key. Fine. So first let me complete this, then I'll explain you. So then I'll have, so here is the same because we need to give the same table names here, right? So if I go to the public here, so this under the products we have all this names, right? That is product ID, product name, category, and subcategory. So let me give the same name, that is a product product ID. So this will be of character varying, right? So let me add one more, that is product name. So this will be of character varying. So then let's add a category, and this will be of character varying. Fine, and finally we have a subcategory. So next is a subcategory. Fine, and so this will be of character varying. Fine, so this will be my columns, okay, for the dim products, right? So even I'll just make, because so even you will be wondering, like, here I have 4 columns, but here I've created 5 columns. Okay, that's what this will be, are my data, right? So that is a product ID, product name, category, and subcategory. And let's create this as a primary key. Okay, to add, so what we can do, so if I want to add manually certain numbers to this primary key, the default numbers, I can do that. Click on edit row, can go to the constraints and click on identity, and you are basically telling to start to increment each load. You're just giving a unique ID for the each product, right? So start from 1 and increment by 1. Okay, I'm clicking on save. Fine. So I have created a table called dim product. So if I do select star from staging dot dim underscore product. So right now it will be empty because we don't have any data here, right? So you can see, so we have a primary key, product ID, product name, category, and subcategory. So in the next video, let's see how we can just load the data. That is the first step of the ETL process, that is extraction, right? Extracting the data from my source, that is under the public, right? Public, under the public schema, we had table called products. I want to load that data into my a staging area. And the table name is dim product. Okay, so let's try to do that with the ETL tool called Pentaho, right? So let's try to do that in the next video. Hello everyone, welcome back. So now let's try to load the data, right? So using the Pentaho tool, I'll just go to the Pentaho tool. So let's create a new transformation. Okay, so first step is I need to input the data, right? So which is under the public schema, and the table name is product, right? So I'll just search for input. So we have a table input. I'll just drag and drop this. So let me open this table input. So first step, I need to give a step name. I'll just give the step name as a raw data. Fine. Or else I can say a raw data. That's okay. And next, right now I don't have any connection, so I need to create a connection. So what I can do, so I want to create a connection to my database, right? So to create a connection, so what I'll do, I'll click on a new here. I'll go to new. So I need to give a connection name, Postgres sales DB, Postgres sales DB. And I need to choose the connection type. So my connection type is Postgres SQL. Host name is local host. Database name will be my sales DB. Port is 5432. Username is Postgres, and the password. Fine. So where I'm getting all this detail. So to access this, can go to your PG admin. So wherever your server is, just try to select that server and right click. You can click on properties, and here you can access the connection details. And make sure okay, here the port number is 433. Okay, I'll just update that. And host name is localhost and the username is Postgres, right? I've added the same thing here. So I'll go to my Pentaho tool. So it's not 32, it's 33. Okay, make sure you just check the details there and update it here. Fine. So everything is set. So let me click on test. So you can see the connection to the Postgres sales DB was successful. The host name, port, and the database name. I'll click OK, and here also I'll click OK. So my connection got created, right? So now let's try to get the data. So you can write a SQL statement here, but even we have other option to manually select it. So click on the get a SQL statement. So inside this connection, we have schema under public, right? And inside this, we have a table called products. I'm just selecting that. As soon as I click okay, this I hope you remember this, right? So we have 3 tables under the public, a category, category table, and just a category. So let me select first this products and click OK. So as soon as I click OK, yes, I need to get field names also. So manually it will add the SQL query here, or else you can just manually type it. So this is done. So even you can just preview the data as well. So click on preview. Let me preview just 100 rows. Click OK, and from this you are able to even preview the data, right? So let me close this. So this will be our source data, right? I'll click OK. So my source data is ready. There is a raw data. So next I want to output this. I'll click here output, search for output table, like table output, right? So table output, I'll just double click this. So before double click, I'll just join this. So hold shift and hold shift, select, hold shift and drag and drop. Fine. So now this I'll just keep it default. This will be a table output. And here if I try to see the connection, so this will be my Postgres sales DB. I'll just select that. Schema, right? So what is the output? Of course, the output is on staging. I'll just select that schema name. And what is the target table? Just click on browse. And my target table under the staging is dim product, if you remember, right? So it's dim product. I'll click OK. Fine. And you can just go to the database fields. Right now, I don't have any fields. Make sure check this box, specify the database fields. I'll check. As soon as I check this and click on get fields, I'm able to get all the fields. Like I have a product ID is mapped to the product ID, category, product name is mapped to product name, category is mapped to category, and subcategory is mapped to subcategory. So I'll click OK. Fine. So before running this transformation, so what I need to do? So I need to save this, right? I have already told you. So click on save. I'll go to my downloads. I've created a folder, okay, called all transformations, correct, right? So I'll just name this as initial load, right? So this will be my initial load to my data warehouse. Initial load, right? I'll click on save. Fine. So let me run this. So even I'll just show you once again before running. So right now inside this staging dim product, I don't have any data. So yes, I have a data inside this public dot products, right? So let me run this. Yes, right. So inside this, I don't have any data. That is staging dim product. Fine. So let me run this transformation. I'll go to the Pentaho. So let me click on to this run option. Just click on run. So I'm getting blue ticks, right? So now let's go and check inside my database. So inside this schema called staging, we have a dim product table. Let me execute it. Yes, so I got the data. And even you can see, so whatever the configuration I made in the Postgres, right? So that is for the product PK, that is a product. This will be a primary key. We have added the constraint that just add one and start from one and increment for one for each product ID, right? So this is what we have added, and you can see so many product IDs. And if you do the truncate and try to load it once again, it will start from 700. Okay, so whenever the new data is arriving to this particular table, so always the product primary key will be unique. Okay, because we have said, right, so always it has to be a not null as well as unique. So if you try to do truncate and try to run this, okay, so always you'll be getting, I'll just show you, you can just do that, okay, truncate and load it. So always it will start from 700, right? So this is what the initial load we have done. So once we have initial load, of course, like in the real time, of course, we'll be dealing with the delta load, that is incremental load, right? So it's not like we'll be dealing with just a static data. Of course, the data will be coming every day, right? So every hour, every second. So now let's try to configure how, like we'll see how to configure this delta load in our project. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we will understand how we can perform delta load, even we call delta load as incremental load as well, right? First let's revise what we have done so far, right? We started with creating a database, right? And our database was sales DB, right? And inside the sales DB, so we created a schema called, it's automatically created a schema called a public. Inside this public schema, so we created our raw data, that is a products, correct? And we uploaded the data, correct? So now next, so next we created one more schema. So this will be our staging area, right? Inside this, we created a schema called, in that table called a dim product. So with help of the transformation, I have moved the data from the source to a staging area, right? So that is from a public to a staging. So once we have loaded the data, right? So in real time, right? So in real time, whenever I'm getting some new data, assume like I'm getting first in the previous video we have done the initial load, right? So after the initial load is done, right? So assume like in real time we are done with the initial load after doing some of the transformation. So again, if I'm getting some tomorrow like 100 rows, some new rows, right? So so I don't want to transform the older data. Assume like we have received 1 to 100, right? And tomorrow I'm just receiving from 101 to 199. So I don't want to do again all those transformation for the older data which have initially loaded, right? So I want to only for if I want only to transform the new data that is from which the data which is getting from 101 to 199, right? So the delta load is basically is performed when the initial load is done. So once the initial load has been done, right? So whatever the new data is coming to my raw table, right? So I'll be pushing only those records to my staging. So no need to do a full refresh again. No need to do a full load once again, right? So this is what the requirement of delta load is. So in this I'm just going giving you a scenario and I'm just showing you an example how we can just perform a delta load, correct? So to perform a delta load, so how so that we need to do it using a Pentaho tool, right? So let me open one txt. So what I'll do, so first we need to capture, okay? So before uh, creating a delta load, so we have to decide one column, okay? So based on that particular column, so I'll be what capturing some new data, right? So in most of the cases it will be of timestamp or a date or it could be a time, but in our case we'll try to capture the new data based on the product ID. Okay, so assume like we are creating a new products, right? So first we'll capture the max of the product ID, right? So we'll first capture the max of the product ID from my destination. So right now my destination is staging, right? So first I'll just capture that max, right? So I'll just write down here so that not get confused. So what I'll do, so I'll be capturing a max of product ID, right? From source. So this will be from source. In our case, it is what? A staging, right? Right? So I'll first capture that max, then I'll just store that in some variable, right? I'll just store that in some variable. Then what I'll do, then I'll just get that variable. I'll just get that variable. And based on that variable, I'll get a new data. I get a new data from sorry, this is not a source, right? So this is destination, right? Destination, and I'll be getting a new data from a source, right? So this will be most of a public, that is will be our products table, right? So here it is basically a dim product. So this is what we're gonna do to capture the delta load. So again, I'll just revise what I've just written here. So first I'll capture the max of product ID. So I told you, right? So whenever I want to do a delta load, right? So I need to first choose on what I need to capture the new data, right? So most of the time it will be of a timestamp or it could be a date or it could be anything. Okay, based on the requirement. So in our case, we are choosing a product ID. So we'll get a max of the product ID so that I can capture what was the last record which has been stored in my destination, that is in the dim product. So then I'll just get that particular data. I'll just create some variable and store that in some variable. Then I'll just get that variable once again, and based on that variable I'll get a new record from the source. I'll just show you how we can just perform this. Okay, first we'll start from this. So first I need to get a max of that product ID from what? A dim staging area. So I'll go to my Pentaho tool. Okay, so let me go and create a new transformation. So I'll click on new transformation. So first let's get okay, first we need to get that data, right? So first it will be a table input. So what will be the table input? So I'll just select the table input. So my connection is already done, right? So here you can see whenever I'm moving to the new transformation, I'm not able to access that particular connection. So what you can do is, so get back to the previous connection and go to the view, and inside the view you can see a database connection. So this is my database connection, that is Postgres Sales DB. Select that. As soon as you click on a share, okay, so it will turn to a dark color. So this means, so this connection you can access for the access in the other transformations as well. Fine. So I'll go to the transformation one. So table input, I'll just select that. And here now I'm able to access that connection, that is Postgres Sales DB. Fine. And from here, so what I need to do it, so I need to basically I need to select I need to select what? A maximum of that particular. So I'll be selecting, I'll just write down, that is select max of product ID, product underscore ID from staging dot dim product, right? So let me click on first preview, click OK. Yes, so I'm able to capture that max of the product, right? So even I'll just show you. So if I go to my database, right? So this is what the last loaded, right? So max of this. So this product ID is in order. If you just check it, okay, starting from 002. So this is what the max product ID which has been loaded so far. So I'm just capturing that, okay. So now this is what the table input will be, the max of product ID from the staging.dim product. I'll click OK. So now whatever we have in this component, I need to store that in a variable, right? So let me create that particular variable. To create a variable, so let me search for, I'll go to design, and it is a set variable. We have a component called set variable. Set variable. I'll just drag and drop here. Select shift, and I'll just I'll just double click. So I'll just keep it same name, that is select variable. So here the which field, so of course it's a max field, right? So because in the previous table the max is what we have calculating, the max product ID, right? And the variable name is very important, okay. That is a last load. Fine. And select the variable scope as valid in Java virtual machine. Fine. And click on OK. Close. Fine. So we have created, um, we are just capturing the last load, right? So last load with help of the product ID. Fine. So next what we need to do, so I'll just save this transformation. I'll go to here, I'll click on save. I'll just name this transformation as last load. I'll just save it. Fine. So now let me go to the new transformation. So I'll go to the new transformation here. So here first I'll just get that particular variable. So first I'll just choose a get variable. I'll just drag and drop, double click. So what is the variable I need to get? Okay, so I can give any name here, right? So just drag and drop, and so here I'll just give this name as a maximum, and the variable name, to access the variable name. Okay, so so we have captured that product ID, the max of product ID, and stored it in some variable, and the variable name we have given as last load, if you remember, right? So to access that, we need to give a dollar symbol, this curly brackets, and in between this, so I need to give a variable name that is a last load, right? So and it is of so last load. So basically you can just take this as a string, right? So I'll just take this as type. You can, so here make sure so whatever the data type you have given, you need to select that. So here I'll just be using a string, right? So I'll just select that and click on OK. Fine. So next is input table input. I'll just drag and drop this and shift connect table input. So from here, so I'll choose the connection first, that is sales DB, and here I need to write a query that is a select a star from public dot products where product ID is equal to the last load, right? The variable name which I've stated. So I'll just open this and I'll give the variable name that is a last load. Fine. And so this is what we need to give. So okay, so what I'm doing, so here I'm just doing select star from public.products where the product ID is equal to the last load. Okay, so so even so because we are using a variable, right? So just make sure you check this, the replace the variable in a script and click on OK, right? So we have done this. So now let's save this. Okay, so I'll just save this transformation. So I'll just name this as filter with variable and click on save. Okay, so now, so before starting, so what I can do, so I'll go to the table input. So here, so right now I've set to equals because, so to check whether it's working fine or not. Okay, so first let me run this particular transformation, that is the last load. So if I try to run this, so it should capture the what a last product ID. So if I click on preview data, so you can see the max is being captured, and in the set variable, okay, this is what the max variable have been captured. So right now I'll go to the filter with variable. I want to run this transformation. Click on run, and if I go to the table input and preview data, so you can see I'm able to capture the last load, right? So so what we can do, so instead of equals, so basically I need to give what a greater, right? So whatever, so I don't want only for the testing I've given the equals, right? So I want to load only those record whose product ID is greater than the last load, right? So I'll click on OK. Fine. So I can do this in a single step. Okay, so with help of jobs. Okay, so let me show you how we can just create a jobs here, right? So we can just go to the file, click on new, and here click on a job. Okay, so here always the job will start from a component called a start. Just drag and drop, and we need to attach two transformations. So just look for a transformation. I need two transformation, so drag and drop. Correct. So first I'll just select and shift select this transformation. So in this transformation, so first I need to where I've saved, I'll go to my C drive, right? So C drive, so inside this users, where is downloads, sorry, not Windows, users, inside this Imran, downloads, or else directly you can just copy the path also, that's also correct, all transformation, and here I've just saved it, right? So all transformation, the first is I need to do it last load, right? So I'll just select that and click on open, and this I'll just name this as a set variable. Fine, I'll click on OK. So then I'll just select this, shift and connect to this transformation. Okay, so here also I need to add it. So browse C drive, users and Imran, then here downloads. From downloads, I have a folder called all transformations, and here filter with variable. I'll select that particular transformation. I'll click OK, and here OK. Okay, so here I can just name this as get and filter data. Fine. I'll click OK. Fine. So this is what the entire job is. So these are the two transformations separately which we are just checked, right? So first we are getting the what a max of the product ID, that is from the destination dim product. Then I've just created in some variable, right? I've stored that in some variable. Then in the filter with variable, what I'm doing, I'm just getting that variable and I'm getting the new data from the source, that is from the public products, right? So this is what I have just combined this two transformation in the job. Okay, so this is what we have done. Okay, so now let's test this. Okay, to test that, what I can do, so let me go to my Postgres, and here inside so inside this public, so where is the public? So we have a products, right? I'll go to products. It's not products, sorry, inside public. So we have a table called products, right? So I'll just select that, and here we have scripts, insert script. Okay, so here I'll just add a few values. Okay, so to test, so first will be my product ID. I'll give the next value, that is p 0 750, the next. Okay, and everything I'll give it as a test. So what I'll do, I'll go here and I'll give this as test, and here I'll give as test category, and test category, and here also I'll give it as test. Fine, so this will be my test, and before running this, you can see, so I've just given a new, so this is what the latest load. So we have P0748, and I'm inserting a new record, that is P0750. Okay, so let me run this. Yes, it got executed. So if I go here and check inside my public, right, public dot products, so let me run this in the public dot products. Sorry, yeah, sorry, this one. So the query has been executed. I'm able to see this test, right? So but in the destination, so if I just check in the destination, I don't have that particular data, right? So that is a staging dim product. So still it's not loaded. So now let's try to uh, capture that, right? So with help of delta load, whatever we have set in the Pentaho. So I'll go to the Pentaho tool. First, let's check individually. Okay, first let's capture the last load. I'll just run this. The last load is being executed. If I click on preview data, it's P0748, it's correct. So I'll go to the filter with variable and execute this. So this time I should get that test because I'm done the greater than the product ID, right? So let me execute this and click on preview data, right? You can see I'm able to capture that particular data inside this, right? So here I can just continue it, right? So I can just create and store that in a staging. Okay, that we have not did so far, right? So because so here I'm just taken the table input, right? So I'm just selecting that, I'm just capturing that. So even I can add a new component here so that it will table output, so that it will output to the staging, right? So this is what we can implement the delta load. So this is all about the delta load. Okay, so now let's move on to the next section. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we'll review what we have done so far and we'll see like what will be our upcoming plan, right? So far we have connected with the source, right? And from source, so we had a staging area, right? And from staging, so what we're going to do is we'll push that staging to a core layer, right? And this process, okay, so whatever you are seeing this particular section, right? So this is basically an extract, right? So what you have done in extract, okay, so we have added a surrogate key, right? So for the product ID, we have added surrogate key, right? So we added a surrogate key, and even we have implement this delta logic, right? So we have implemented delta logic. So in the staging, okay, so after the staging, so we have a core, okay, so this will be our transform and load, right? So from here, so it will be of transform, transform plus load. Okay, so core will be our final layer, right? And here, so basically we'll clean the data. Okay, so we'll clean the data, and let's show you what is the clean data. We can do it, and even we can add some additional columns, right? We can add some additional columns. So here, what is this cleaning data? Okay, so if I go and do select star from public dot products, and here uh, if I try to expand, so here you can find uh, like some special characters like hyphens, right? So if I want to remove those hyphens, and if you want to clean that particular data, right? And even one main thing you can observe here is we have a brand name in brackets. So we can capture that particular brand name and store that in some variable, right? So there's what the additional column we can add it. And even we can remove some of the special characters here, right? So like so if it is required, right? So we can remove this hyphens here, and so we need to clean this particular data. So if we have any special characters or anything, right? So let's try to do this like with help of transformations. Fine. So finally our the end, um, it will be this is how our plan will be, right? So first we need to set up some schemas, right? So of course we need to have set up schemas for code. So first we'll set up tables and schema, right? So for the core, and then finally even will set up the output staging table. Okay, so in the output staging table right now we have not set to a truncate, because so we need to set this to a truncate. So whenever we are done with the full load, that is the initial load, and whenever I'm getting the new data, okay, I need to truncate that already existed data, right? So because so every time I can just keep clean this my staging layer as well. So next, even the final step is I need to transform, right? So I need to basically transform and load in my uh, okay. So in this, what we'll do, so basically we'll read a data, right? So from staging, and finally we'll transform it. We'll apply the transformations, that is clean plus extract. Okay, so we'll clean the products, okay, product names, okay, and as well as we'll extract this particular columns here, right? So this is what we are gonna do now. Hello everyone, welcome back. So now let's try to perform the steps one by one. So first we need to set up a tables and schema, right? So what I'll do, I'll just first minimize this. So I'll go to my database. So where is my database? So this is the database salesdb, right? So let me go and open the query tool, right? So first let's create a schema. So create schema core, right? So let me run this first. Okay, got executed. So next let's create a table for the core. It will be of core dot dim product, right? Dim product, and it will have product primary key, right? So this will be of integer type. Next, product underscore id, of varchar of 5. Then we have product name of varchar of 50. Then we have a category varchar of 50. Then subcategory varchar of 50. And finally we need to add a brand, right? So I told you like from where I'll be getting this brand, right? So in the core we'll have this brand. We will see how we can just get that with help of transformation. Okay, brand, it will be of varchar of 50. Okay, so this will be my core, right? So let me run this. Query got executed. So if I do select star from code dot dim underscore product, so it will be of empty, right? Because we have not loaded any data in this. You can see, so we have a product um, big A, then product ID, product name, category, subcategory, as well as brand. So we have completed this particular step. So we have set up the tables and schema, which will be our core, right? So next is, so we need to set up this output staging table that is to truncate. So if you remember, so when we did this transformation, when we applied this delta logic, right? So we had this first last load, we captured the max of the product from the staging dot dim product, right? And we have just set that into some variable called last load, right? And after storing it, so we are getting that particular variable that is the last load, and we are filtering the data from the public dot products, right? So after this, of course, we need to say store this particular data into our output table, that is our staging, right? So from here I need to push that into staging. So you can just search here for output table, output table. So output, so let's just add our table. Yeah, table output, just drag and drop. And first let me connect this. Fine. So here it will be of table output, right? And here I need to select the connection. So my connection will be a PostgreSQL DB, and the schema is staging, right? Or else you can just select from here also, go to the browse, it is staging. I'll click OK. And the target table is dim product, right? So if I go to here under the staging, we have a dim product. I'll click OK. Fine. And the next important step is truncate table. So whenever I am pushing that particular data, right? So there's a new data. So make sure that, so whatever the data we have existing data and staging, just truncate it, right? So this is what the truncate table I'm doing. And right now we don't have any database fields. Click on to this and click on get fields, right? And yes, I got it. That is okay. I don't want this max, just delete it max. It. So we have a product ID, right? So product ID map with product ID, product name, we have product name. Okay, so this entire thing can just delete it. Okay, category and subcategory, I'll click OK. Fine. So we have done with this setup. So now let's go to my uh, jobs, right? So inside this job, so we have already set this, we have a start, right? And inside this we have set a first transformation, that is using a last load, right? So we have added that, if you remember, and we have then get and filter, right? So this is what we have added so far. So let's save this particular job. Okay, so I'll just save this particular job as staging staging job. Okay, so let me save this. So I'll go to okay, before executing this, what we can do, so first let's go and truncate the table in my staging. So if I go here, let me truncate table staging dot dim underscore product, right? Just a second. Yeah, dim product. So let me truncate this. So if I truncate, yes, truncate is done. So if I just check here, that is a select star from staging dot dim product. So here we don't have any data, correct? Fine. So now let's go to my Pentaho tool. Right now my data is empty in my staging. Okay, so let me go and save this particular as a staging job. Okay, so let me go to the file, click on save. I'll save in the same folder where all my transformation is saving. Okay, so I'll just save this as staging job, right? I'll click on save. So we have completed this particular step, right? So now if I check this, right, so we have set up the tables as well as schema. We have output the staging table, and even we have added the what a truncate, right? And then so then finally we have to transform and load. Okay, that we'll be seeing in next coming upcoming videos. But there is a one problem which we have not encountered. Okay, that is, so the problem is, okay, so far whatever we have set in the last load, right? If I go to my last load, okay, so I'm just first getting the table input, right? So instead of getting the table input from the staging, I need to get it from the core, right? Because so I'm just truncating the data, correct? So now there is no new values. The staging will be empty after afterwards and before the next run, right? So because of that, so here the max of this will be null every time, right? So we have to make the changes to this, because this time our destination will not be as where I'll be getting the max priority. It will not be a staging, it will be a core, right? So I need to modify this, right? Because this modification is very important, because every time we have said that the staging has to be truncated in the new run. Okay, so let's try to do that particular setup. Okay, in the next section. Okay, so let's try to do that in the next section. Hello everyone, welcome back. So now we have performed up to step 2, right? So in the next step we have to transform the data, and if we want to transform some of the columns, and finally we need to load that into a core part, right? So this is what we need to perform. So let me go to my Pentaho tool, right? I'll go to new, I'll click on transformation. So first I need to read the data from the staging, right? So first our data was in a public schema, right? In the public schema, we have created a table name called product, and from product we have moved to the staging. There is a dim product, and from staging to core. Okay, so whatever the transformation step we need to perform, those steps, and finally we need to load that into a core, right? So this is what our process is. So while designing the data warehouse, so first we need to get the input, that is input table. So we have a table, okay, table input, and this I'll just rename this as read data from staging, read data from staging, and the connection will be Postgres sales DB, right? So this will be my data, right? And here so when I'm just getting the data, right, so basically I need to what select all the so even I can just preview the data, right? So here if I click on preview just of 100, okay, so I need to close this. So basically I need to give the SQL command, right? So I forgot this. So it will be of select star from staging dot dim underscore product, right? So this will be my input. So let me click on preview, preview just 100 rows, right? So as did made any mistake, SCLE city select star. Inside the schema, we have what a staging. It's dim product. Yes. Okay. So let me click on preview. Yes, because we don't have any data in my right now staging, right? So I've just truncated. If you remember, right? So if I go to my here, so let me refresh. Right now, I don't have any rows, correct? Right? Anyways, I'll just set up this. So if I so what I'll do is, so let me try to execute it. Okay. So uh, all these transformation ones. Okay. First, let's start with the initial load. Okay. So let me click OK. Okay. Let me run this initial load first. Okay. So my here the table output is basically a staging, right? So if I go to my staging, okay, so I got some data now. Okay, so I'll go to my here and let me preview it. So click on preview and click OK. Yes. So instead of this, I can just add a star here. Yes. Okay. I'm getting it. Okay. So I'll click OK. Fine. So the next step is basically, so once I read the data, right? So now if I want to transform the data, right? So I can perform some of the, for example, if I just go here and click on preview some 100 rows. Okay. So in case if you want to clean the data, right? So in the product name, so I told you like we'll, if I want to remove some of the special characters or if I want to remove the white spaces, I can just do that. So even I need to extract this brand name, right? So let's try to do it with help of transformation. So right now I'm just getting the data from the staging, and here you can just search for something called a string operations. So we have something called string operations. So let me drag and drop this. First, let's connect this, and inside this string operation, so first let's connect. Okay, so inside the string operations, the first I need to select the which field name I'm basically selecting. So I'm just selecting the product name, and here we have a trim type. So in the trim type, we have a left, right, and both. So basically left means if I want to trim the white spaces on the left side or right side or both, I'll be selecting the both. If we have the product name, I want to trim it. And here we have some special characters, right? So if I want to remove the special characters, I can just like horizontal tab or space, right? So let me add the horizontal tab here, right? So this is how we can see, even we can perform like lower upper padding. So this is just an example to show like if I want to apply some transformation, so I can just apply it here, right? And click on OK here. So this is for the string operations. Fine. So now let's extract the data, right? So here we have a one more component called extract. Extract. So if you want to extract just a brand name, right? The name for this will be something called replace. No, we need to, okay, we have something called split, correct. We have something called split fields. I'll just drag and drop that. Okay. So first let's connect this. So let me open this. So here first basically I need to select a field. So my field will be product name. So for here first field to split. So what is the field to split? It's a product name. So here so what the field name, what is the new field name? I'll give this as a product underscore name, and this will be of a string type and here I'll just give it as brand, 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 and this will be also be of string type. So basically I'm splitting the data based on the comma, right? So if I go to my initial load, and I hope you have seen, right? So if I just go here and see select star from this particular data, so here I'm just splitting, right? This whatever the data is present in the inside the brackets, right? So I'm just selecting that. So let me, so it's not so here is basically what is the delimiter? Delimiter is not a comma here, right? Because the delimiter is starting from the bracket, so I need to split based on that, based on that. So what I'll do, so since it's not a comma, right? So I'll just click here and add open brackets and click OK. Fine. So where's my transformation? Yeah. So I've just added the split fields. Okay, first let me execute this and show this. Okay. So I'll just name this as transformation. I'll just first save this because before running you need to save it. I'll just give it as transformation. Just a transformation. I'll just save it and let me execute this. Run. As it got executed. If I go to split fields, click on split fields and click on preview data, I'm able to get the product name as well as the brand, right? So here you can see I need to even fix this. So let me add one more component here. So you can just add a replace. Okay. So search for replace. So we have replace in string. So let's drag and drop here. First, let's connect it. Okay, so here what in which field you need to replace. So in the stream I need to replace what, a brand, and the search is for this. I need to replace with the empty, right? So I'll click OK and let me run this once again. Yes. So if I go to my replace and click on preview data, yes, I'm able to extract the product name as well as a brand properly, right? So this is what we do it. So whenever we are getting the data, raw data, so after that we'll place the data into the staging, and from staging, when you are pushing the data to the code part, so first we need to do all these transformations before loading into our core layer, right? So from here, of course, after doing all this transformation, I need to push this into my core. Okay, so let's see like how we can just do it in the next video. Hello everyone, welcome back. So next step is basically I need to load the data, right, into my core layer. So once we have done perform with the operation, so basically I need to output the data. So this time out, it will not be an output table component, it will be either insert or update, right? So I'll just drag and drop this insert and update component here, right? So once I'm done with the transformation, so either it could be your insert or update to this core layer. So let me open this insert or update. So first I need to select the connection, that will be a Postgres sales DB, and my schema will be a core, correct? My schema will be core, and then my target table inside this core schema will be a dim product, right? So core schema and it will be a dim product. So then the table field to look up the values is basically a product ID. So if product ID is equal to the product ID, if it is equal to the product ID, then do not update it. Okay, so set to no. Otherwise just update it, right? So what I've done, so connection we have set, target schema is core, target table is dim product. Then I have just set the table the keys to look up the values is the product ID. Then I need to update the fields if product is not equal to the product, right? So I'm just updating the other fields, right? So I'm just clicking on to this. Okay, so once I've done, so let me go and save this. So let me click on go here, save, and I need to save this transformation. Okay, I have named this as says transformation, right? So now let's so once, okay, so I've just saved it. So next is I need to add this particular transformation, right, into my job. So if I go to my staging job, so I need to attach one more transformation. So I'll just look for here transformation. So I've given the same name so that will not get confused. Fine. So let me connect this with this transformation, and here I need to attach that transformation job which I have done, right? So let me go to the C drive, C, then here under the users, then the username. I have set that into the downloads inside downloads or transformation, and have given saved as transformations, right? I click on open. I have attached that as transformations. I'll click OK. So before executing this, so I even have told you about the problem, right? So I need to get the variable. Okay, so the last load. So whenever I'm just getting the table input, it will not be from a staging. So this time it should be from a core, right? Core. Let me click on OK, and we are all set, right? So our staging job is ready, starting from with different transformations. Okay, so we have set variable, then get and filter, and finally the transform and the load part. So we have done with this. So let me save this particular um, save this, right? So now let's try to execute this once. Okay, so let me see if we're getting any error. Yes, I want to save it. Error detected. So let me fix this error. So I'm getting an insert and update error. Okay, so let me fix this and I'll just get back. Hello everyone, welcome back. So I just found the error. So the while finding the error, so there was like for the product name. So I'll just show you that. So even you need to modify that. So for the product name, make sure you add the varchar of 100, not 50, because the product name is bit lengthier, right? So you can just add 100 there. So first you just drop a table code.dim product. Then after dropping a table, just try to recreate it by adding this 100. Okay. So I've just added that and try to execute it. You can see. So all the my job got executed, so I can just verify. I can go here. So initially there was no data inside this code.dim product. So let me select this, and yes, I'm able to load the data with the brand as well as the product name as well. So now I need to check for the new data, correct? So what I'll do, so let me go to my source. So my source will be inside the public. So I'll go to the products. So I'll select scripts, insert script. So now let me add a new product. So the values will be uh, P0 751. So this will be our new data. And I think everything's capital. So I'll add it. So let me check. So this was capital. Yes, P was capital. Fine. Yes. So P0751. So let me add a product name. So I'll just add a product name as red apple. Okay, of the brand Milestoso. Fine. And for the category, so let me add a category as fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables, and subcategory I'll add it as fruits. fruits, fine. So let me insert this record into this. Okay, so now if I do select star from public dot products, let me run this and let me go to the last field. Yes, you can see. So P750 has been inserted. So similarly, if I go and do select star from code dot dim underscore product. So this is not it there because I've not executed the jobs, right? So if I just scroll down, you can see I'm not able to find that. Okay, so last was 750. So let me go and run this staging job to verify if my delta load is also working fine. So let me run this. So everything got executed. So now if I go here and let me run this once again, my code.dim product, and this time it has to be loaded, and seven 51. Why it's not showing here? So let me verify here. So if I go to the staging, first let's check for the last load. And the last load is S750, that's correct. Then filter with variable. Yes, it is 751. Red apple, fruits and vegetables. It's correct. So let me run this. Yes, it got executed. Even this. So let me preview the data. Yes, it got executed. So if I go and refresh this once again, yes, you can see. So I'm able to execute it. That is red apple, fruits and vegetables, and fruits I'm able to execute it. So, but this I have executed individually. The staging job it's not working. Why? So set variable, have set it, get and filter the data, and finally have attached the transformation. So let me fix this, okay? Because so individually when I executed this last load, it was working fine. Even the filter with variable, even this transformation is working fine. Only the entire pipeline is stuck in somewhere, right? So let me fix this, right? So once I fix this, I'll just show you in the next video. Hello everyone, welcome back. So I just try to add a new value, okay, like P052, and just name this as Apple's. I have just executed. It's absolutely working fine. Okay, I didn't save it because of that it was not showing. Okay, just save this job. Okay, staging job which we have done. This is the only job we have done, right? So try to execute it. It is working fine. Fine. So we have done with one table, right? So with the products table, so we have seen how to do the full like initial load, then delta load, and how to do the transformations from raw to the staging and from staging to the core part. So this is what we have implemented basic ETL. Okay, so let's try to extend this and let's try to add more stuff in this in the next video. Hello everyone, welcome back. So now let's extend our project. So whatever we have done so far, right? So we'll try to create end-to-end ETL pipeline, right? So basically it will be a kind of a case study, you can say, right? So where we are looking like how we can create a data warehouse. So now in this video, I'm just giving you n steps like what we are gonna do in upcoming videos, right? So first we'll look at the problem and we'll plan according to that. And finally, then next step is we'll set up the tables and the schemas based on the problem. right? And we'll design the staging, because now we should have the certain knowledge of how to create schemas, databases, and how to create some ETL pipelines, right? Because this is what we have seen as an examples, right? So we will try to extend that. We will be using even the products in this case studies as well. Fine. So then we'll build a dimension table, facts table, and finally we'll schedule and we'll do the testing in this in upcoming videos. Okay, so this is what the plan is. Okay, so now let's get started in the next video. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, first let's explore our data sets, that is sales data. Then we'll finally set up the source for that sales data, and even we'll see like what are the different fact and the dimensions we are gonna set, right? So first I'll show you the data set. So all this I have shared in the resources. You can see like this a fact sales one, right? Just open that file, and this is what the data we have. We have transaction ID, we have transaction date, product ID, customer ID, payment, credit card or loyalty card, cost, price, and quantity, right? So let me upload this particular file. I'll just close this. Don't save. Uh, don't save. So now let me go to my databases, and inside this database I was working under the sales DB, right? I'll go to the public schema. So this is what the public schema. So let me open the query tool here. So I already have typed the query here. So let's first set up the source data for the sales table, right? So let me copy this and I'll just explain in just a second. Okay, so here, so we have added the same thing. Okay, so we have a transaction ID, soft integer type, then we have a transactional tape, timestamp, then product ID, character varying, customer ID, then the payment, then the credit card, right? Then loyalty card, cost, quantity, price, and we have set the transactional ID as primary key, right? So let me load this. So let me create this particular table. So if I just do select star from public dot sales. So basically we're setting the source, right? I hope you are aware of the products how we are data, right? Similarly, we are setting a raw data from my public schema. So right now I don't have any data, so we know how to upload the data, right? So I'll expand this public schema, and inside the tables, so now I can find the sales. Let me select that and click on import or export data. So of course I want to import it, so I need to select the file, right? So I'll go to the downloads. I have kept all these things in alt run, not in this. I've kept in the warehouse project, resources, and the fake fact sales one. I'll just open that, and it is a CSV format and encoding is UTF-8. Under the option, make sure you have checked the header, delimiter is comma, right? And click on columns. These all columns are selected. I'll click OK here. So as soon as I click OK, so copying the table data public.sales on the database sales DB. So successfully completed. So now let me check whether it has been created or not. So let me refresh. Let me run this particular query. Yes, so my data is loaded. So let's explore what we have in this, right? So we have a transactional ID. So this will be our primary key. So of course, like we don't want to add one more surrogate key here, right? So no, it's not required because it's already in the proper format. So we have a primary key, right? So it will be of transaction, right? Transaction ID will be our primary key. Then we have a transactional date, right? So so here we can add a dimension to this transactional date by creating a separate dimension like date dimension, and so we can do that, right? This is next is we have a product ID. I hope now you're aware of product ID, right? So we have other table, so which has its own surrogate key, right? So I can just connect that with this product ID, right? So then we have a customer ID. So even if you remember, right, so we had this under the okay, so we have customer ID. Okay, so let's see like where we can just compare this. Then we have a payment, credit card, and loyalty card. So we have different payment methods like Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and the loyalty card is either true or false, right? So it's kind of a junk. Okay, this loyalty card I can just keep it as a junk a dimension, right? So next we have other two important columns like cost, quantity, and price. Okay, so this is will be my raw data, and at the end, okay, so our final core should look like this. I have a snapshot of this. So you can see, so it will have the transactional ID, correct? Then we have a transactional date. Then we'll create a date dimension, so which will be our foreign key, right? So we'll add that. Then we have a product ID, then the product foreign key, right? Then the payment foreign key, then we have a customer ID, then credit card, cost, quantity, and price. And these are the other two columns which we'll be calculating, like total price, total cost, and the total profit, right? So these are some of the extra columns which we will be calculating. So I can just write down those particular steps what we are gonna do. So that is, first we'll create a date key, right? So this is what it is required, right? So then we'll include product product foreign key, right? Product foreign key. Then we need to have the payment dimension. Okay, so this payment dimensions will include, so here and the final we have just a payment dimension, right? So where is that? So here we have just a payment dimension 1 2 3, but in the output, so the table, the dimension will have the payment category, credit card, and the loyalty card, right? So this is what we're going to add in that particular payment dimension. Okay, so next we can add even additional columns. The additional columns includes like total cost, right? So total cost, I can add total price, right? So total price, and even add profit, right? So this is the additional columns which will be adding it here, right? So here how we can calculate, for example, if I want to calculate the total price, so I need to multiply with the quantity, right? So even the cost also, right? So if I want to calculate the total cost, I need to multiply the each cost with that quantity. So right now we don't have that, right? So this is what we need to do in the transformation step, and finally load into our core table, right? So this is the source which we have set up. So now in the next step, let's set up the tables in the database for the other dimensions and stuff, right? So let's do that in the next video. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, let's set up the tables in the database, right? So first let's set up a table for the staging for the sales. It will have the transactional ID, transactional date stamp, product ID, customer ID, payment category, credit card, loyalty card, cost, quantity, and price, right? So this will be our source, and from the source I need to push the data into the staging, right? So we have to create a table for that. So let me copy this. So what I'll do, I'll just open this, let me add it. So I'll just copy this. So all this I have already shared in the resource. Let's copy this, then I'll explain. So let me add it here. Okay, so first we'll be setting up the staging, right? So staging dot sales. Inside the staging, so let me create this as staging, right? So staging dot sales, and so let me create this. It will be of same column names, right? So next we'll have a core. So the core dot sales, this will be our fact table, right? So final table. So after all the transformation, so even I just showed you this snapshot of this, right? So we'll have the only the so we'll replace this product with the foreign key. We'll create a foreign key for the product also, but for the payment we'll have for the payment we'll have the loyalty card. So we'll have the what we'll have just a payment payment foreign key, and for the payment foreign key we'll have a payment foreign key, then the payment and the loyalty card, right? So first let's set up the tables, and then we can just add the data to it. So this will be our core sales date. So let me execute this. So all the tables will just create it. Yes, so this table got executed, and finally we'll set up the sales payment tables for the staging and core, right? So this will be for the core. So let me create this and try to execute it, right? So yes, we are done. So here just remember, for the payment we'll have the payment primary key, and so it will be incremented by 1, right? So this what the manually also we have done like in our previous videos, right? Then the payment then the loyalty card, and the primary key will be our payment primary key, right? This will be our primary key. So I've executed all the tables. So in the next video, let's move the data from our source to the staging layer, right? So this is what we're going to do in the next video. Hello everyone, welcome back. So now let's move on to the next step. So if I go to my Pentaho tool, so in our previous sections, so we have built this staging job, right? So starting, then we get the variable, get and filter the data, and finally we transform that data, right? So all these steps we have done. Transformation is basically includes all these transformations, right? So what we can do is, so this is basically set for our product dimension, right? So similarly, we need to even create delta logic for our sales table as well. So let's try to do that now. Okay, so I'll just go to the file, click on new transformation. So here I'll just take the same thing. First we need to do the last load, right? So I'll just select that, control C. I'll come over here and control V. So in the table input, so first I need to select the data, right? So first, so the connection is sales DB. So here I'll just keep it as a table input, and from here, so instead of not product ID, so of course I'll be taking that for the transaction, right? So if I uh, place it here, like place the name. Yeah, so here we have a transactional rate, right? So I'll be taking a transactional date as our delta logic. For the delta logic, I'll be using this particular column, right? So let me add that. So I'll go to my Pentaho tool. So instead of product ID, so I'll be adding a transactional date. SACTIONAL transactional date, right? SACTIONAL. So give the proper name, or else like we can. So okay, SACTION project date. Okay, so from the not dim product. So basically this will be from code dot sales, right? And I'll just give this as alias as a last load date. Okay, so now, so first let me click on preview here, and okay, so right now, because we don't have any data, it is set to null, right? So what we can do, so instead of this, so before running this, so we can keep some default value for the full load. Okay, so for the full load, so let's keep it select some random date, so 1970 01 hyphen 01 then 00 colon 00 colon 00. Okay, as last load. So I'm just keeping this as a last load by default, so that to check to test this my pipeline. Okay, so let me even comment this out. Okay, so let me even comment this out. Correct. So if I click on preview, so this is what I'll be getting as a last load. Fine, so this will be my last load. So click on close, and here also. Okay, so next I need to set the variable. So setting up the variable is the same step like what we have done, right? So here it is field name. I'll give it as last load date. Can give any name, last load date, and the variable name I'll give last load date, right? So this is what the variable name I given. Okay, and let's click on OK, close. Fine, so this transformation is done. So let me save this particular transformation. So I'll just save this transformation as, so let me go to the files, click on save. I'll save this transformation as set last load for sales. Okay, I'll save it. Fine, So now let's try to do the next step, that is we need to filter with the variable, right? So let me click on to the file and click on new, and here let's add the transformation. Fine. And so let me search for get variable. Okay, inside this get variable, so first I need to give the name, so I can give any name here also, but first let me get the variable. So variable, to access the variable, dollar sign and opening and the curly brackets, right? So here I have to give name, that is I've given last load date, right? And here I'll just give name as last load date. And type is very important, so type I need to select it as timestamp, right? So let me click on first preview. I should not get any error. Okay, let me close this and click on OK. And the next is table input, right? Let me connect this, and table input, here the connection will be Postgres sales, and I want to select star from public.sales where condition I can add a transactional date should be greater than the set variable, right? So should be greater than the set variable, that is the dollar opening and the curly braces, and the variable name is last load date. Fine. So here just make sure click on the replace variables in script. Fine. And click on OK over here. Okay, so we have set this, right? So even let me go and click on preview data here. Okay, I'm getting some error, so let me fix this, and let me check, and I'll just check it. Okay, what is the error? Because I should get some data here, right? So I've not executed this. Okay, so let me so this is the table input, select. Okay, and the set variable is this, and get variable I have set properly. Yes, anyways, I'll just check it. Okay, so what is the issue, and I'll get back in the next video. Okay, so there is no issues. Okay, first we need to run this. Okay, let me run this particular transformation because the variable has been created, right? So let me execute it. Yes, it got executed. So let me even save this particular transformation because I've not saved it, right? So previously, so let me save this transformation as well. So I'll just name this transformation as get last load sales. Okay, so let me save this, and so let me run this. Okay, so if I click on preview data, yes, I'm getting it. Okay, so there was no error. Okay, in the previous video I told like I'm getting an error, so first you need to run this, right? So I need to because I've created a variable, it has not stored the value in that particular variable, so I need to execute that. So now I'm getting the data, right? So even if you open this table input and click on preview data, so you'll be getting the records here, right? So this is what we have done so far. So in the next video, let's implement the staging job and fix some of the issue or problem. So what is the problem here? So in our previous like staging job, so this is what we have set for the product dimension, right? So we don't want this transformation. Okay, so let's like how we can just fix this in the next video. Hello everyone, welcome back. So now let's try to go to the next step. So in our staging job, which we created in our product dimensions, right? So while creating product dimensions, here we have transformation. So now this transformation is not required. I'll just delete it. And so we are starting, then we have setting variable and getting variable for a product dimension. Similarly, let's try to add this two transformation that is for the sales, that set load sales and the get load sales. Okay, let me add the two transformations here. Okay, so let me search for transformations. So let's drag and drop one more. So let me connect this, and from here let's connect to this. Fine, for this transformation, so let attach this set load sales, right? So I need to attach the let souls uh, last load for sales. So here can just give any name. I'll just give the name here as set variable for sales, right? And click on browse inside C drive, user, then the username, downloads, inside all transformations. So this is what the transformation name is, that is set last load sales. So where I have saved that. Okay, I've saved it in /Imran. Fine. So let me go to my /Imran here. I have stored in some different folder. Yeah, so I have saved it here. That is set last load sales. Let me open that and click on OK. Fine. And let me even attach for this. And for this, I'll just give it as get variable for sales and load, right? So click on browse in the C drive. Let me go to the users, and in the Imran I have saved this last load. So name is get last load sales, right? Click OK and click OK. So let me verify. So this is set to set and this is set to last load. Fine. So we have attached into our staging job, and few modification I had to make it. Okay, if I go to my to this get last load, so we have a table input. Okay, so if I preview the data, this is what the preview data we have, right? So I want to output this to my staging, right? So to my staging sales. So right now I don't have any data in my Postgres, you can see. So right now in the staging sales I don't have any data. So let me add the output to that particular thing. Okay, so let me close this here. Okay, and here let's search for output table, output yeah, table output. So let me select that, shift and connect to this. An output table, you can just give any name, and the connection is Postgres sales DB. My schema will be staging, right? So from here you can just select, it will be staging, and my target table will be inside the staging. I have sales, right? So let me click OK. Because this is staging, I need to truncate the table. even specify the database fields. Go to database, get fields, and I want everything, but I don't want this last load date, right? So let me delete that. Everything's transaction ID is mapped to transaction ID, date, product ID, customer ID, everything is set. So click on OK. So let me save this, and let me even save all these files once, and I'll go to the staging, and here also I'll just save it once. Okay, so let me execute this and see like if we are getting any error. So let me run this. Okay, so we're getting some errors. Let me fix this. What is the error? So if I check the error, so error is basically of some column type mismatch. So here you can find the column cost is of type numeric, but the expression of carrying. Okay, so if I go to my Postgres and in the public sales, right? So if I go and select the public dot sales, so here the cost is basically of character varying, right? So character type, but in the staging sales is of numeric. Can you see it's numeric? So if you are getting such type of like some errors related to some data field, so even you can just set that here. So I'll get back to this get last load, right? So after getting into a table, so I can basically add a component, okay, so which will help us to set the values, right? So let me add that. So here I have a component called set values, uh, select values. Yes, this is a transform. So after the input I want to add it, so let me add it here. Okay, so here I need to make changes. So changes is, let me select that, and the field name I need to convert is basically a cost. Select values, cancel. Here I should get it. Just a second. Okay, so let me open this. Yes, so it is basically a cost, right? And I want to change the type. Let me cancel this. I'm getting rename. Where is the type? I'm not okay. Inside the, yeah, inside the metadata. Sorry, I'm getting a type, right? So I'll just, yeah. So I'll go to the metadata, and inside this I need to select cost, and the cost I need to change this to a number, right? I click OK. So before dumping into our stagings, I need to change that, right? Let me verify once again. Yeah, it's set to number. I click OK and click on save. So this time I should not get any error in the job. Okay, let me run this. Yes, so the job got executed, so I can just go here, and there was no data initially, right? So if I go and run this, so my data has been loaded. Fine, so this is what we have completed so far. Hello everyone, welcome back. So now let's try to fix our payment, right? So if I go to my payment, right, so we have created a table for the payments. So this is what the table we have created inside the core of dim payments, right? So if I want to see what are the different distant payment methods, right, so I can just do that. So here if I see like select distant payment, select distant payment, right? And even the loyalty card from staging dot sales, right? So let me run this. So I have visa, and even we have some few null values, so we can fix that with help of this colis, right? So let me add that. So here I can just add a colis function, colis, and inside this will have a payment and cash as payment. Fine. So if I try to execute it, so all these null values will be removed. Yes, so I have this data, right? So I have the Visa, Cash, American Express, Visa cards, wherever there is null values, I've just replaced that with the cash, right? So now let's try to add this into the transformation, and let's try to move the data from my staging, right? So I need to basically create a payment, right? So there's a dimension for the payment. So let's try to do that. So what I can do, so I can go to my Pentaho tool. So here, let me go and create a new transformation. So here first let do the table input, input. I'll just drag and drop. So in this table inputs, let me copy this query. So this will be my in table input and add it over here. Okay, and the connection will be same thing, sales DB, and here. So next, once I add, okay, so next is basically I need to update and to my sales table, right? So let me add that particular component. So if you want to preview, you can just preview it. Okay, so I'll be getting the same information direct. So I'll close it and click on OK. So next I have table insert or update, right? So insert or update into my core. So I'll just select this and connect. So in the insert update, so the connection will be this sales DB, and so I need to add a schema. So I'll just add a schema as core because this is a core, right? And so target table will be a dim product. So inside the schema we have core and we have a dim payment, sorry, not product, it's a dim payment. I'll select that, right? So next is basically I need to don't perform any updates if the payment is equals to the payment, right? Is equals where is equals, yeah, if it is equal to the payment. And so for the next is loyalty card, if the loyalty card is equal to the loyalty card, then don't perform any updates, right? So this is what we are setting up here, loyalty card. Fine, and I think everything is set. So let me click on OK here. Okay, so now let's save this transformation. I'll go to here and click on save, and so I'm just saving in England itself. I'll just name this as core dim payment. Okay, and click on save. Fine, so now let's try to save. We have saved this, and let's see like how we can just add that in our staging job in the next video. Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video now let's do the setup for our core layer for the that is a we need to design our fact table, right, for the sales. So far what we have done, so we have created our payment dimensions, right? So now in the next, so what we'll do is first let's try to see this particular transformation. So what we are gonna, so this will be our um final table, right? So which I'll be uh, pushing it, right? So let me first run this particular, then I'll explain you. Okay, so here, so it is not staging. So let me run this. Yes. So this is what the data I'm getting it, right? So right now the primary payment foreign key is null because I have not executed this part still now, right? So let me fix that. Okay. So before this, so let me, okay. So first let's fix that. So what I'll do, let me go to my spoon here. So in the insert and update, we have that. Okay. Get update fields, and here, so here basically I need to set this to uh, no, right, and click OK. So everything is set. So now let's save this and run it. Okay, it got executed. So now if I go and run this once again, so this is the transformation so which we have done using SQL, right? So you can see now I'm getting this payment foreign key. Fine. So let me explain what we are doing. Okay. So first, this is our final fact table, right? So first we have a transaction ID, right? So this which we have set to a primary key, correct? So next we have a transactional date, so which we have applied the delta logic. So then we have added a transactional foreign key. Okay. So this is calculated with help of the extract keyword, and where I'm just multiplying with 10,000, right? So we are selecting first year from transactional date and multiplying that. Then we are doing what addition for the year, month, and the day, and I'm able to get that particular number, right? So this will be my transactional date foreign key. So then we have a product ID, right? Then the product primary key. So this basically I'm getting all these details directly from my product dimension, right? And we have a payment, right? So as a payment foreign key, then customer ID, then credit card, cost, quantity, price, and I'm just doing what, a left join on the dim product, right? And as well as on dim product as well as dim payment, right? And this is what the left join I've just performed it. So this will be my final table, okay? So which has to be updated in my core, right? So if I do here, like select star from core dot sales. So right now I don't have any data updated here, right? So if I try to execute this, so I don't have any data here. Okay, so we need to push this with help of this transformation. So let me go and create a new transformation. Like click on create new transformation. So first I need to add the table input, right? So table input, just a second. So table input, so let me create this table input. So let me drag and drop. So here basically let me add the SQL or whatever I've just copied from here, right? So let me copy from here. C, that will be fine. And here the connection is Postgres Sales DB, and click on preview, or okay, let me click on preview. Okay, I have not executed for that reason. Anyways, you can just click on you should get it. There's not, it's a staging. Okay, so now if I click on preview, you should get now. Yes, I'm able to get it. Okay, let me close this and click on OK. Fine. So the next step is basically I told you like I'll be adding a 3 additional columns, right? So here in the final table, you can see like we have a total price, total cost, as well as profit. So let's try to add those things here. Okay, so here we have a something called a calculator component. Okay, with help of calculator component, I can add um, those things. Okay, so like I can calculate the extra columns. So we have a calculator. So let me drag and drop. So first let's connect to this. Okay, and here, so first field is I need to name this as a total price. and the calculation I'll be doing is A star B because I'm be multiplying it, right? And click OK. And field, let me expand this, yeah. And the field A will be price, correct? So field A will be price and field B will be quantity, and the value type will be number, and the precision I'll keep it 2. Fine. So this is the total price. So similarly, let's add for the total cost, and it will be A times B, same thing. And here, so first let's add a cost, then quantity, and here its number as well as precision is 2, right? So let me add it here, 2, and click OK. Fine. So now let's so even we need to let's do the preview. Okay, so let's do the preview first. So if I click OK here, just a second. So let me preview it if I'm getting the table. Yeah, so you can see I'm getting a total price as well, a total cost, correct? So next I need what, a to profit also. So let me add that. So let me add one more calculator here, right? First let's connect to this, and here I need to add profit. A new table will be profit, not table, sorry, column name, and here it is A minus B, and the field will be total price, and the field B will be total cost, and the value type will be number, and precision I'll add 2, right? And precision is 2. So let me click OK. So now let's try to do the preview. So if I right click and click on preview, this transformation is running. Anyways, it's taking some because I have just executed preview, it's running. Okay, let's wait. Okay, or else like we have added the profit also. Even we can just do the preview for the others also. The final, then we have to load that into a update, right? So we need to update in our fact table. So we have update and insert. So let me drag and drop this, and so let me configure this in the update and insert. So the connection will be my Postgres sales DB, and the schema will be core, right? And the target table inside the core schema. So core schema will be my sales, right? Select and click OK. And the table field, I need to add a transaction ID should be equal to the transaction ID, right? And get updates, and here I'll just set to this to no. Fine, so everything is set. So now let's click on OK. And in the next step, so let's run this particular job in the this transformation in the next video. So before this, let me save. Okay, so I'll just save this transformation. So I'll just click on save. I'll name this transformation as core sales fact. Okay, so let me save. So my transformation is saved. So let's continue in the next video. Okay, so now let's try to create a job. Okay, so where we can attach this core dim payment as well as the core sales fact, right? So let me go to here, new job, new job. Okay, so let me create this job. So first, always the job start with a start component. So I have two transformations which I need to attach. So transformation, uh, transformation, one more transformations. Okay, so first let me connect this transformation to this and let me attach this core dim payment. So here I'll just name this as a dim underscore payment, and let me browse it, C drive, and inside the user I have Imran, and here I have just saved it as uh, core dim payment. Okay, and click OK, and here also OK. So now let's connect this with this transformation, and here I'll just name this as a fact sales, and let me browse it under the C drive, users and Imran, and I'll just scroll down and I can find core sales fact and click OK, and here also OK. Fine, so now it should work fine. Okay, so right now, so if I go to my Postgres, so the core sales is empty, as well as if I do select star from core dot dim payment. So this is, so let me run this. So this is already loaded, right? So we have executed job, so I'm getting this. Okay, so let me run this in the entire job. So let me save this job first. So let me run this job. Yes, job one, I'll save it as job one. So I'm just named as job one. Okay, yeah, it got executed, you can see. So now if I go to my Postgres and check the core sales, yes, all the data has been loaded, as well as this is also loaded. Finally, we have pushed the data from staging to the core after doing some of the transformations. So next is like even we need to check for delta load. Okay, that will do it in the next video. Okay, finally, we can check for the delta logic, right? So I'll go to my spoon here, right? And before applying the delta logic, so if you remember, if I go to my set last load for sales and the table input, we have set this to a last load, right? So now I'll just comment this out, and this time the last load is not that. So I need to get from the core.sales. Okay, let me preview this, and so I can check it is a 22 April, right? So let me close this, and here also click OK. Fine. So I'll go to my Postgres. So if I check all the three, first let me do it for select star from public dot sales. Okay, so public dot sales, and let's run this. And if I check it, so we have a data up to, we have all the data. Okay, so if I just keep on scrolling, okay, you can see we have a data up to the April. Fine, so even you can just verify that also here. Okay, so if I just scroll down this and check it for this, so even we have a data up to the point. Fine, so you can just check this 404,400 rows, and even this also 4,410 rows. Fine, so now to apply delta logic, so I have a resource that is a facts table 2. We have some new data. Let me add that. So what I'll do, I'll go to here, and inside this public, so we have a sales, right? So this is the public schema, you can see. So under the public schema tables we have sales. Let me go and import it, and so this time I want to import fact sales 2. Click OK. Options, header, and this thing, check everything is correct, click OK. Fine, So now, okay, it's adding it, copying it. So let's wait for that. Yeah, so you can see, so after this April, so we have some new data which has been added here. Okay, so if I, yeah, uh, okay, so let me close this. Okay, so we have almost 40 records. Okay, so this has been added. And the records date, if I want to check it, you can see from 1 22 till we have 3, that is March 22. Fine, so this is what the data has been added. So if I show this to here, right, so it's the same thing, right? So I have added those particular data here. Fine. So inside the core, we have only that 4,410 rows, and in the public, so we have 4,450 rows, right? So now we need to apply the delta logic. I'll go here. Okay. So so we have even made the modification that, okay, first we need to execute the staging job, then we can execute this job one. So even we can create a pipeline for that. I'll create here go job. So it should start from start. So I'll just drag and drop. So I want a job. Okay, I want a job. So now the job one. So connect this job to this, and inside this job one, so first we need to attach the staging job. I'll go here inside the C drive, then users, and inside the users run, and inside this I have saved this in the downloads. Go to downloads, all transformations, and we have a staging job. We'll open that. So let's attach one more job. So I can just rename this job, right? So I'll just rename this job as staging, right? And click OK. So let me add one more job. So I'll just attach this. I'll just rename this job as transform and load. And let me click on browse, see, and under the users I have Imran, and let me add this job one, right? So this is what the job I have saved it, right? This is what the job one is, correct? Fine. So now let's save this particular job. I'll go here and click on save. I'll just name this as end-to-end ETL, right? Complete ETL process. Fine. I'll click on save and let me run this. And without any errors, it got executed. So now if I go to my Postgres, and first let me check for the public scales, right? So it has 4,450. And now if I check for the core.sales, and it also has 4,450, right? So you can see all the data has been added as well. So here you can even check the latest data by descending, right? So even I can add the order by like sales order by transaction ID in descending order, right? So if I run it, yes, so I'm able to access that particular data, right? So this is how we have built the complete ETL pipeline. And so now I don't want to get into any of this, right? So I want to just run this on schedule. Okay, even I can just schedule this, right? So this is how the complete ETL pipeline process is set up. So if I want certain modifications, you can just get into that particular section and do whatever the modification is required. Hello everyone, welcome back. So finally we have built a data warehouse solution, right, for the sales data. And this time it's your turn. Okay, so I'm just giving an assignment. Like we have the adventurous work sample databases. Okay, so you can just download this database. Okay, so of adventure works. Okay, you can keep it as like because it's a huge data set. So I suggest you to use some ETL tool. Not it's not like I'm suggesting you to use Pentaho. Use any ETL tool, but design the entire data warehouse. Okay, you'll have the or the source could be of any databases also. Okay, connect with the SQL server. Okay, you with the ETL tool just push to some data warehouse, use the snowflake, right, and build the data model. Okay, and from the snowflake connect to some BI tool and try to practice this entire of the design, right? So this is what the assignment I'm giving you for the adventurous works. Okay, try to complete this, and if you have any queries you can just get back to us.